Hey folks, welcome to our week 3 overview video. So as with the first 2 weeks, this is just a quick video to go over what it is that we're going to be up to this week. So as you can see from this little header right here, this week we're going to be talking about the writer's voice and a number of things that can mean. The good news is we're in a section of the course that is very much streamlined. And so really the only things that we'll be working on are our reading and discussion and our journal for this week. So we're really kind of honing in and sort of threading down to very specific things. And you'll see that this will be the case for next week as well. So let's take a look at the reading and discussion. So we're going to be looking kind of like last week as in three different categories, and kind of like the previous weeks, you can sort of pick and choose. Obviously, in an ideal universe, we all have plenty of free time, and can read everything on here. But if not, as long as you pick 3 from each of our categories, you will be fine. So the first category is really just about the concept of voice and what that term actually means when we talk about voice in writing, and ways to develop that and to think about what voice even means. So pick 3 things out of these sections. I would recommend considering the Charlie Jane Anders sections as one reading because each chapter is very short. I certainly recommend reading all of that, but these are all things that you can choose from. And then the second section is a slightly different kind of reading, and it poses some questions about writing quote unquote others. So how do we and should we occupy the voices of people from demographics that are not our own? And I am certainly, just like in week 2, I'm not expecting everyone to 100% agree with everything that every one of these readings has to say. Certainly some of them are slightly controversial. So I'll be curious as to what you make of this. So again, now what you'll see here is there are also exemplary readings, but here's what I'm going to suggest. What I would like to suggest to you, because it is a lot, is pick which of these categories you would say is your primary emphasis area. If you're not picking an emphasis in the program, just you can kind of decide which of these applies to you the most. So if you consider yourself a fiction writer, I would read all of the fiction and then one piece of creative nonfiction, and you can just pick a poem or a set of poems from one poet. If you're a creative nonfiction writer, read all of these and then one from each of the other categories, etc. Obviously, you may read all of them at your leisure. And part of the reason that these have been chosen is they all are really exemplary good uses of voice in some capacity, okay? And again, I'm not going to overly read for you what the discussion post should be about. Again, it's not an exhaustive list, but you can attend to these things where your interest lies. So you will not lose points if you don't answer every question or discuss every single topic there. So then when we get to our journal assignment, this is again in the creative mode, and kind of like week 2, I want you to use the exemplary text, whichever ones you choose to read, as a way to kickstart a potential piece of creative writing. So what I would like you to do is think about, there are a number of options here where you can, what I call pulling a thread from one of the pieces that you read. And that can mean any number of different things. Again, I don't want to overly read this out loud to you, but there are different kind of prompts for each of the genres. But you can very much have lots of freedom to do whatever you like with this. So just read those instructions and see what happens. And that will be due on Monday at the end of the week, but I'll obviously read them as they come in. And that's it for this week. We're kind of streamlining our focus here. So should be not too overly onerous to keep up on that. But if you think of any questions, just let me know.